Good day, YouTube. I want to share with you my financial story when my life began at the age of 24. I fast forwarded to 24 because that's when I was married and I had the beginning of my career, and that's where I want to begin this. And it's something that I want you to know that when it comes to your finances, you have most of the control to succeed, fail, struggle, somewhere in between. Remember that. And I'm going to share with you my notes. At the age of 24, I was brand new married, brand new career with the Air Force. And that's when I realized, you've probably heard this portion before, that it was tough. I had limited options. I was challenged, and it wasn't a good situation to be in. And that's the beginning of my personal finances. And looking back, those struggles at the beginning of, at the age of 24, at the beginning of my marriage and career, those struggles were probably the best thing that happened to me because it made me who I am. I had my Air Force career, my Air Force job, and I needed a part-time job just to make a little bit extra money, so we can have breathing room. And we had $1,000 in debt. I had $1,000. My wife had $1,000, and that's how we started. So if you have to take a part-time job, you may not be crazy about that, but that's something that you have to do at least for a short period of time. Do it. The next thing was that we reduced our debt, which, like I said, was $1,000 each, and eventually eliminated our debt. It got to the point where it was cash, pay cash, or we weren't going to get it because I didn't want to go back into debt. So we saved money to do whatever it is that we needed to, whether it was a vacation, whether it was to build our emergency fund. We began our savings account. And at first, I remember we struggled just to begin or to open up an account that was specifically for savings. The next thing is sometimes I had to make tough decisions that the family didn't want to hear or didn't like, but sometimes you have to do that. Sometimes those tough decisions are no, we can't right now, maybe in the future, maybe down the road, but right now we can't. Next thing was balance. We had to live a balanced life financially where you spend money, you save money, and eventually we began our investment account. We needed to have a vision. I needed to have a vision to say, okay, this is the what, this is how we're going to do it, this is why we're going to do it. We needed to have a vision of what we wanted to do, and that's very important. You have to have a vision of what your goal is when it comes to your finances. For many years, I drove a jalopy, an old car, an ugly car, but I was perfectly fine with that. We had one car payment back in the day, and that was for our family car. And eventually my goal, my vision, my end state was to not have a car payment. Why? Because cars depreciate in value. You may pay X number of dollars for this car. 3 years down the road, the value has gone down, even though it does take you to point A and point B. The next thing was communication with my wife. As often as we needed it, I'm not saying it was every single day, but we had to communicate what the goal was, how we're going to do it, why we're doing things, and sometimes we disagreed. And the next thing is we taught our children about finances, about the importance of finance, the whys, the whos, the whens, hows, all of those things. You have to teach your children, at least I think we should. As time went on, we had a lot more options. It got better. We had breathing space. We can have a lot more fun than when we first started. When I was 31 years old, my wife and I are the same age. When we were 31, we bought our first home. And one of the things that I did after 2 years of buying that house, we had a 30-year mortgage. We reduced it to a 15-year mortgage, paid more towards the principal every single month, and that reduced the amount of money that we had to pay eventually on that loan. We had side money, ways of making extra money besides your paycheck. That's something that I've been doing since I was a kid, is buy and resell stuff, and I still do it right now on eBay and Facebook Marketplace. Have a way to make that's fun, but that makes you extra income. And it doesn't have to be a lot of money, but some side money. And that's something that I do even to this day. You have to be persistent. I was persistent 100% when it came to finances, because if you invest in yourself with your finances, you're the one that's going to reap those rewards. And maybe I was a little bit extreme at some points, but it really helped us out. I had to look ahead. What's going to happen? What's going to change in a year or 2 or 5 years? And I began a college account for our children who used that money to go to school. And that's something that a benefit I had was the post 9/11 GI Bill through the Air Force. And that was an incredible benefit. I'm the type of person that I don't waste. I don't like to waste. Now, I am a generous person, but I don't like to waste water or waste anything. And because resources are very important to me. One of the other things that I talked about was we began our investment in 2003, and that's kind of late. I was 31 years old at that point, but better late than never. One of the things that I always did financially as 24 and after is I avoided schemes or scams of get rich quickly, to include lottery tickets. Now, if you buy lottery tickets, that's your decision. It's your money to do whatever you want. But my style was different. I don't believe that I'm going to win the lottery. Therefore, I'm not going to spend my money on the lottery. In fact, I'd rather invest money and pick the brains of individuals that have knowledge on that, and that's something that I wanted to do. What I noticed as time went on was that our net worth financially was going up and up and up and up. And when we became 100% debt-free at the age of 46, so this is 24 years later, 100% debt-free to include the house, that is also when our net worth kept on going up and up and up and up. So that's a good thing. I'm at the point in life where I want to buy experiences as opposed to buy material things. I do buy things, I do spend money, I'm generous, but I'm just a certain way when it comes to that. I'd rather take a vacation than buy the latest and greatest, maybe sweatshirt saying that my Los Angeles Lakers won the 2020 World Championship. If I come across one at a thrift shop, I'll buy it. That's the next thing I want to talk to, is I buy used. Not everything, of course, but if you see me at work as a civilian right now, guarantee you that most likely what I'm wearing at work, at my professional attire, is from a thrift shop. You save money. If you look in my closet right now, I have incredible brands: Banana Republic, J. Crew, Patagonia, Hugo Boss. All of that is from thrift shops. One thing that I would caution you to do is keep your eyes on yourselves as opposed to what your friends are doing, especially with social media, because we may think that the grass is greener or that they have the perfect life, but we don't know their situation, and it doesn't really matter what their situation is. We can be happy for them, but keep your eyes on yourself. Social media is it's a good thing. It's the way it is in technology these days, but don't let it become your enemy. Have an idea of what really matters when it comes to your finances. Yes, take vacations. Yes, buy something that you want to treat yourself. Again, it goes back to balance. The next thing is your legacy. What do you want to leave behind when we are no longer here in this world? Think of Kobe Bryant, 41 years old, multi-millionaire, filthy rich. None of that went with him, and that's an unfortunate example for me to share. But I share it because it's something that I think about often, that whatever we have here, we won't be able to take with us. Live 100% debt-free whenever you can get there. I'm telling you, it is a good thing to be debt-free. It gives you a lot more options than 24 years ago when I was 24 years old. Overall, as I wrap up, when it comes to finances is not a difficult thing unless we as humans make it difficult. I'm not a math genius when it comes to math at all, but I know addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division, and I have a vision. I'm going to be persistent. If you have those traits, you will succeed when it comes to your finances. Of course, make adjustments, ask questions, learn, and make the most. Take care.